Hi everyone, I'm Empress Sankofa of Empress Holistics, and I'm here today with you guys doing a decoding of Jesus and select parts of the Bible. So this video is going to be somewhat of a part 2 of my Christ video. So if you have not watched that video, pause this video and go watch it right now, because some of the things that I'm going to say are not going to make sense until you watch that video. And the information that I am about to give you right now, you are never going to hear this on Sunday morning. You are never going to hear this on Wednesday night. Some of the things that I'm going to be saying are very controversial. So if you are the type of person that easily gets offended about things that you have not researched, if you are super religious and fanatical and are going to be praying that God gets rid of whatever demon is possessing me, this video is not for you. If you are not open to new information that could possibly contradict everything that you have been taught, this video is not for you. And I will not be offended if you click off right now. So I'm gonna give you a second, let you decide if you want to proceed further. As I stated, this is going to be some very controversial information about Jesus. I'm going to be making 3 very bold claims, and I'm going to give you scriptures and tell you about my intuitive nudges, and I'm going to let you come to your own conclusions. And you're more than welcome to leave comments and feedback to let me know what you think about everything that I have to say. So without further ado, let's get into it. Number 1, I believe that Jesus was a pedophile in his previous lifetime. When we look at the scripture, Psalms 14 verses 1 through 3, it says, "No one is righteous. No, not one." So when we fast forward to the New Testament, Jesus is sitting in a crowd and he says, "Let the little children come unto me, don't hinder them, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. If anyone offends any one of these little ones, it would be better that a millstone be tied around his neck and he be cast into the sea." Sometimes we can get self-righteous when we come into a new incarnation. And what I mean by this is when we master certain lessons in a past lifetime, those things don't necessarily have to repeat in our new lifetime. But when we come back in a new body, a new form, and a new time, and a new season with new parents, amnesia sets in and we don't remember who we used to be. We don't remember what we used to do. But we can be staunchly against something that we were once okay with in a previous existence. I've even done this. I've harshly criticized a person of the past behaviors and certain things, and I stated out of my mouth boldly, "Universe, if this person is alive right now, I think that this should happen to them." And guess what? All that stuff I said started materializing into my life. And I was like, "Universe, whoa, 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 whoa." I said they should experience this, not me. And then the universe was like, "My child, the ghost of lifetimes past, look into my crystal ball and look really closely." And I was like, "Okay, fine, I'll look really closely." Is that me? Oh my God. So sometimes I study karmic astrology. So sometimes, as I said, when we come into a new incarnation, we could be against something right now in this avatar that we were once okay with, and then be condemning what we used to do, not knowing it was us. And so then it's just kind of like, that's how the universe is serving us justice in a way, so that we can learn from our past mistakes. And it doesn't even necessarily mean it was a mistake. It just meant that that aspect of us had to learn some type of lesson karmically tied to whatever action that was, and we don't have to learn that lesson anymore. So Jesus loved children and wanted to protect them in his lifetime as Jesus. He went on to say that Anyone who hurts a child should have a millstone tied around his neck and he be cast into the sea. So go back to the video Christ and check out the reference that I'm making to the Garden of Gethsemane. What happened in the Garden of Gethsemane? Peter was the rock or the millstone that was tied around Jesus's neck, and he was crucified on the cross and cast into the sea. The cross meaning the cardinal cross of the zodiac signs: Aries in the east, Libra in the west, Cancer in the north, and Capricorn in the south. Cancer is the sea on earth, and the constellation Capricorn is a part of the sea of the sky, with the other transcendental signs Aquarius and Pisces. And what's interesting is that Peter was crucified in a very similar way as Jesus, but he was actually crucified upside down. So you have the cardinal cross reverse. So then west becomes east, and then east becomes west, north becomes south, and south becomes north. What's also interesting is that the Catholic Church is founded upon Peter. Jesus said, "Upon this rock shall I build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it." And this was in reference to Peter calling him the Christ meaning the oil that was brought forth from the pressing of an olive by a stone, Peter being the stone. So since Simon Peter died in a similar way as Jesus, did Peter have a similar type issue? I mean, pedophilia in the Catholic Church kind of goes hand in hand like peanut butter and jelly. One kind of doesn't make sense without the other. So, was this a generational curse that Jesus was coming to reconcile? A generational curse that possibly entered into the world through Adam and Eve? Like maybe if Eve was Adam's daughter and the forbidden fruit was a sexual act between them, because prior to Eve getting in the garden with Adam, being pulled from, quote unquote, from his rib, bone of his bone and flesh of his flesh, Lilith was in the garden with Adam. And there was no issue with Lilith and Adam having sexual intercourse. It wasn't until Eve and Adam had sexual intercourse that their eyes were opened and they saw that they were naked. Run that back. So, Peter is the patron saint of the Pope. So, you come to your own conclusions and put all of that together. But to me, that sounds like Jesus had a issue with pedophilia in his past lifetime. And then coming back as Jesus, he was staunchly against people hurting children because he was staunchly against his karma. We're about to get into that in just a second. I'm getting ahead of myself because I'm getting excited. So, sin came into the world. Sin coming from the Latin word sinister, meaning left. Like, you know, people thinking left-handed people were evil and used to kill them and punish them back in the day. So, after Adam partook of the forbidden fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, like the gods, having the knowledge of the left hand being evil and the right hand being good, the left path being evil and the right path being good. And this issue of pedophilia and incest has been going on for a lot longer than the Catholic Church has even been around. Look up the story of Gaia and Uranus and why their son Saturn castrated his father, son. Okay. All right, have I gone deep enough for y'all? Because we about to get into some more stuff. We about to get into some real good stuff. So right now, there's a lot of people that are talking about twins and twin flames and yin yang. And when will I meet my twin flame? Be careful what you ask for, because that might not be what you want to do. But my second bold claim is Jesus was a twin soul and had a twin flame and a karmic twin. So for the first half of that statement, Mary Magdalene was Jesus's twin flame. So before I go any further, I want to make it clear that someone being your twin flame has nothing to do with happiness, marriage, family, happily ever after, going off into a carriage into the sunset, living in a palace together. No, it has nothing to do with all of that. That's a fairy tale. Someone being your twin flame is a person who ignites your spiritual journey. Matter of fact, 11:11. I just saw 11:11 on the time. I'm recording. Interesting. Synchronicities. But a twin flame is someone that ignites your spiritual journey to help you eventually transcend out of this physical reality into the Sea of Neptune. So if you want to know what the Sea of Neptune is, make sure that you check out the Christ video. And there's also another video that I did, What Pastors Will Never Tell You About Jesus. I'm sorry, the Seas of Neptune is in that video. So Mary Magdalene did that for Jesus. So the second half of my statement about the karmic twin is Judas was Jesus's karmic twin. But I'm going to talk about Mary Magdalene for a minute, then I'll come back later to address Judas. So Mary Magdalene has plenty of rumors surrounding her, including her being the 13th disciple. I think there's some pictures of the Last Supper where Mary Magdalene is there. 13 is the number of the divine feminine. It's interesting. We have 12 zodiac signs, and then we're like, oh, there's a 13th one, Ophiuchus. Maybe that's representative of Mary Magdalene. 13 moons in the lunar cycle. She is rumored to have been Jesus's wife. It is also interesting that Jesus's mother's name was Mary, and his rumored wife's name was Mary. So he, like many men, married women with characteristics similar to their mothers. Jesus's mother, Mary, was said to be a pregnant virgin, and his wife, Mary, was said to be the whore. Perhaps it's the other way around. Perhaps Mary was promiscuous and turned up pregnant, and her fiance Joseph knew that he hadn't touched her yet, but he didn't want her to be stoned or ostracized, so he went on and married her. Or perhaps she was molested, and whoever the father of the child was out of the picture because a value was taken from her. Maybe that's why there's so much mystery about Jesus's actual father being God. Mary Magdalene was called a whore possessed with 7 demons. And the song Alabaster Box, as made popular by CeCe Winans, she saved an alabaster box of costly oil her whole life and poured it on Jesus's feet in an act of worship. Then she dried his feet with her hair. I spent my days, poured my life without measure into a little treasure box I thought I found, until the day when Jesus came to me and healed my soul with the wonder of his touch. I've come to pour my praise on him like oil from Mary's alabaster box. I'm not saying this has to be the case, but she saved a treasure box full of costly oil her whole life and adored Jesus so much that she broke this box and she poured this oil on his feet in an act of praise, and then dried his feet with her hair. That sounds very intimate to me. What does it sound like to you? To me, it sounds like a metaphor for a woman giving her virginity to Jesus, right? The 7 Vestal virgins and the oil lamp. So you're going to have to look at Greek and Roman mythology to know what the virgins of Vesta were. So they were in a temple and they were instructed to not let the fire go out. Vesta is also an asteroid that we use in astrology. I'm telling y'all, all of this stuff is connected. And the Vestal virgins had to remain a virgin until they were 30 years old. How old was Jesus when he started his ministry? 30 years old. So then Mary Magdalene and Jesus were both approximately 30 years old when all of this was transpiring, huh? Things that make you say, So Jesus supposedly cast 7 demons out of Mary Magdalene. 7 demons, 7 deadly sins, 7 Vestal virgins, 7 days of creation. There's that number 7. It's a very godly number. So note, Mary Magdalene is depicted having very long hair. The Vestal virgins are also depicted as having very long hair. Do your own research there. So there was some confusion surrounding whether Mary of Bethany and Mary Magdalene were the same person. Then in the year 591, Pope Gregory publicly announced that Luke was referring to the same woman, Mary Magdalene. So Mary, the divine feminine, number 13, anointed Jesus, and he was thrusted into his Kundalini awakening, which your twin flame actually does for you. The fiery serpent began winding up Jesus's spine, opening up those chakras. Once again, go back to that Christ video so that you can get the fullness of what I'm saying. So Jesus had previously condemned people who hurt children, but then he came into the awareness that he used to be one of them. So when you awaken from the ego and begin focusing on the soul, you come into the awareness of things that you are healing from past life existences. So even if Jesus was blameless in his lifetime as Jesus, the fact that he was in a physical body with a root chakra, the Muladhara in Sanskrit. Muladhara means the basis of existence. He couldn't have a basis of existence without having karma of some type. So he was here as the second Adam. Note, he was here as the second Adam. He was getting rid of some type of generational curse of sin that entered in the world that wasn't in the world until Adam knew Eve. Bone of his bone and flesh of his flesh. So Jesus, prior to knowing he was a molester in a previous life, boldly stated the offender should die. So basically, he willed his own demise into reality. Okay. My third bold claim, and as I mentioned, I was going to come back to Judas. Well, the second point about Judas and this point is like all connected together. So I'm going to get into that. So my third bold claim is that Judas, Jesus's brother, was actually the one who betrayed him rather than Judas the disciple. I told you I got you. We going knee deep into this stuff. So when I say Judas, I mean Jesus's brother Jude or Judas, not the disciple Judas, which is more obvious. We can guess that Judas Iscariot was probably jealous of Jesus and, betrayed him according to the story. But I'm pushing you to do your own research and to follow your own intuition, get some divine downloads from the universe to make all these stories click. It was actually Jesus's blood brother, Judas, that really betrayed him. And I'm going to tell you why I think this. Judah and Judas both mean praise, which is fitting for the Son of God. like the sun in the sky, the Son of God. Jesus was said to be the Lion of the tribe of Judah, or the Lion among lions, the praised above the praised. So Jesus grew up in the house with a younger brother named Judas. So his brother by name should have been he who is praised. Names are very powerful. They are the vibrational frequency that one identifies with the energy of. A person's name becomes synonymous with their avatar. You say someone's name and their avatar comes forward. Yes, that's me. That's the name that my parents gave me when I was born. That's the name that I call myself. So Jesus's brother should have been praised, but when you have an older brother who is the Son of God and is healing people and casting devils out of people and healing multitudes by magic and walking on water and performing alchemy, that praise that you're supposed to get is kind of going to be diminished. You're going to be looking like Jesus's brother. You're not going to be called Judah. You're going to be known by everybody as Jesus's brother. So, by this reasoning, Jesus's brother Judas was the jealous one, and the disciple Judas was a familiar spirit of his brother. Jesus was sold for 30 pieces of silver, 1 piece of silver for every year of his life leading up to his ministry. So way before Judas Iscariot came on the scene, Judas, the son of Mary, was there with Jesus. So all of those 30 pieces of silver, Judas, the brother, was probably sitting back like, who he think he is? Like, my name means praise. I'm supposed to be getting praise. Look, I cooked the beans today. Why y'all praising Jesus? Oh, because he turned beans into meat. Well, excuse me then. So we kind of get that, we can get that vibe that there might have been some bad blood between Jesus's brother and Jesus. And oftentimes you got to watch your own people. Why do you need enemies when you got family sometimes? It'll be your family, the people closest to you, that will do you the dirtiest. And y'all know I'm telling the truth. You know I'm telling the truth. So your oldest brother his father is God. And your father is just regular old human carpenter Joseph. It kind of sounds like the Gemini twins, Castor and Pollux. They both had the same mother, but one of their fathers was Zeus, king of the gods, and the other one's father was, I want to say a king, maybe King Tyndarus or something like that. So don't quote me on that, but definitely a mortal man. So don't ask me how a woman has twins at the same time and gets pregnant by 2 different people. I don't know. But that's the story of mythology. And so this is why I say that Jesus was a twin soul, because that Judas energy was kind of like that mortal twin and Jesus was the God twin. So symbolically, Jesus was betrayed by his brother Judas rather than the disciple. The disciple Judas was only embodying the energy that his brother was already bringing to the mix, and Jesus had been around his whole life. Ironically, the Bible doesn't tell us much about Jesus's siblings, but we do know that the disciples that Jesus spent the most time around and had the most notable and significant interactions with, ironically, have the same names as some of his brothers, including Judas. He had a disciple named Judas. He had a brother named Judas. He had a brother named Simon. He had a disciple named Simon Peter. He had a brother named James, and he had a disciple named James. Check it out in the story. Would a rose by any other name smell as sweet? Would a Judas by any other name still betray Jesus? Would a Simon by any other name still deny him as Simon Peter did? So it seems to me like Jesus was familiar with the energies of these disciples and already knowing what they were going to do because they were already reminding him of his brothers that he grew up with. Things that make you say, So, what do y'all think about these bold claims that I said? I said that Jesus was a pedophile in his past life. I said that Jesus was a twin soul had a twin flame and a karmic twin. I said that Judas, his brother, was the one who betrayed him rather than the disciple. I mean, we know that the disciple betrayed him, but you get what I'm saying. You watch the video. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think. I'm curious. So all right, y'all, that has been the decoding for today. Jesus and aspects of the Bible that you are not going to ever hear on a Sunday morning or a Wednesday night Bible study. But you know Empress Sankofa got you. She going to break down that Bible and she going to show you things that people haven't showed you, and she's going to bring it back to Greek mythology, the Epic of Gilgamesh, the Sumerian tablets, all of that stuff. The Book of Enoch, I'm a like bring it all in for y'all. So if you like content like this, make sure that you like, share, subscribe, and make sure that you tap that bell for all notifications and let me know that you want to continue to see content like this. All right, y'all. Have a great day, and I will see you next time.